Here we go. Here we go is right. You know him, you love him. Number 73 in your heart. It's Antonio Hall, Q92 Sports, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. We're going to talk a little ball with Hall on this Wednesday afternoon. My guy, well, you looking good today. What's going on?
What's up, brother? How are you?
How are you? I'm doing well. This NIL thing kind of threw me for a loop today. I had a lot of stuff planned, and we kind of had to improvise, if you will, in the business. And you know what? We might as well just start with that because we'll get into high school football. We will review Week 8. We'll look ahead to Week 9, and yeah, we'll do that. But it looks like there's going to be an emergency vote, maybe by the end of the month, Antonio, with the member schools with the OHSAA about NIL. And they had to do this because of a lawsuit that was filed by a player down in Huber Heights, Wayne. He was a junior, and he filed a suit today down in Franklin County Court. So it looks like this could be a possibility. It still has some steps, but it looks like it's gaining a lot of juice. What are your thoughts on NIL coming to high school here in the state of Ohio, if indeed it happens, and it looks like it might? We getting Antonio? I'm not hearing anything.
He's talking. I'm not sure why I don't hear him. His mic's not muted.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. Well, we got a long. You with me, big man?
Yep.
Okay, looks like we're got a crazy delay or a bad connection here. Anyhow, just kind of jump right in there. What do you think about the possibility of this coming to Ohio, the NIL, and how's that going to be handled, and how would you handle it?
The first vote was 3 years ago by the athletic directors, and we're sitting there in the vote, and that time it was voted not to bring, NIL to Ohio. But we knew that it was only going to take the right lawsuit or the biggest years, seeing how it's already been established in several other states. But things are definitely going to shift dramatically in the state of Ohio if you see this NIL pass here in a few weeks.
What kind of advice, if you were a coach, obviously you're a parent of a high school athlete, would you want to sit down with the AD? Would you want to sit down with prospective businesses? I mean, what would be the best way to handle this if indeed somebody would come to player X and say, hey, I'm interested. How do you feel about representing our company? Here's what we can give you. Here's what we would like in return. What all goes into something like that when a decision is made to accept an opportunity of name, image, and likeness?
Well, I think that's one of the things that they have to really spell out in the dictation of when they pass this, like what's going to be the official step-by-step process, because when you handle, let's say, a transfer coming into your program, there's a specific way that you have to do things, and there's specific material that you need in order to do so, and they'll have to do something like that to really spell out. I don't think they can do it how they did college and just say we have NIL, because now you open up institutions to be able to pay players if that's how you do it. And so you really have to spell out what NIL looks like and what's legal by the school, what's not legal by the school to do, what's legal by the businesses and not legal by the businesses, what's legal by the players and not legal by the players. So it's really going to come down to Ohio spelling this thing out. But you're really going to see the haves. Let's take Stark County, for instance. The people who have resources, your Massillon program, your McKinley program, your Jackson program, even your Green program, the people who have means and businesses and support and big boosters to be able to pay for these opportunities, right? And now as a middle schooler, as a parent, you're not necessarily going to look to see, okay, where's the opportunity for my best kid to play, or the best opportunity for my kid to go to school. It's going to be who has the most opportunities for me and my family to get paid. And so you're really going to see the whole shift in dynamic when it comes to high school sports when this thing passes.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. It's going to be something, and I'm sure we can discuss a lot of this moving forward when actually the vote comes through, and then we start seeing the ramifications and the way schools and coaches and moms and dads and players are going to handle all this. Antonio Hall is our guest. We're talking ball with Hall, Q92 Sports. Man alive, we're in week 9 already. Can you believe 2 weeks is all we've got, Antonio, of regular season high school football? Where did it go?
It flew by.
Oh,
We knew it would. We talked
I
about
know.
this all season. It's just, man, here we go, week 9. A lot's riding for a lot of teams, especially with the shift in the playoff picture now going down to 12 teams, and with Division Two in our area being one of the gauntlets in high school football, really trying to make it to that playoff picture. I mean, a lot's riding on weeks 9 and 10.
It is unbelievable. So let's go back to last week before we move forward. Alliance West Branch. I had the opportunity to call that game. It was 20-0, Antonio, before I could blink.
Yep.
West Branch was just mauling Alliance, and I thought, okay, and then chip away, chip away, chip away. It's 34-28 late in the fourth quarter. What'd you make of the Aviators and the Warriors last Friday?
Yeah, I was getting the updates as we were doing our game, and Ryan and myself both were just in amazement of how quickly and how much West Branch was able to score and how Alliance wasn't. But then you have the big punt return. You have Alliance battling back. Then you have the big punt return for West Branch before the half, and that seemed to kind of get their momentum back. And then Alliance is driving, but West Branch comes up with that big defensive stand at the end. I mean, it was a very close game, but it wasn't as close moving through the game as I would anticipated.
It was crazy. And I'll tell you what, man, have you ever been to a game at West Branch?
I have not.
That was my first. And I'm going to tell you what, you've got to go watch a game over there. It is the game night production
Really?
it's professional. It's like
Wow.
they've got the light shows and the video board, and it's I had so much fun. It was unbelievable. You owe yourself the opportunity to go over and check a game out, whether it's this year or next. But man, if you get a chance, head on over there because it's jumping. It really is.
I'm telling Christian to put me on the schedule for West Branch next year.
There you go, stealing my games already. I ought to. Oh my God! Hey, let's talk about McKinley and Jackson coming up Friday night. Lots on the line here. I got a feeling this is going to be a close game. What do you say?
I think so too. I think it's a very big game. Obviously, McKinley can win the Federal League outright and go undefeated in the Federal League. Jackson can win a portion of the Federal League if they get the win this week and gain a lot of computer points moving into the playoffs. So big game for both sides. I think it's going to come down to Mulliman. I mean, he looks great when he looked great, but last week he really struggled against Glen Oaks' drop 8 defense where they only rushed 3 guys and drop 8. And there were some really tight windows and there wasn't much room to operate. And the Jackson offense just didn't look as comfortable as they normally would. And understanding McKinley's defense, they can get home with just rushing 4 people. So, or even rushing 3. I mean, they can drop one of their defensive ends and play a drop 8 variation as well. But just knowing that McKinley's defensive line is very good across the front, they don't have to bring a lot of pressures to get pressure on the quarterback. And that secondary for McKinley is just lights out. You got Crook on one side, Brown on the other at cornerback. I mean, those guys got a lot of interceptions at very big moments in games. And so I really think it's going to be can Jackson establish that running game early to keep McKinley's defense honest? because Jacobs continues to impress me each week. He plays running back, knowing he started out as a wide receiver because of injuries. He had to move
Hmm.
to running back, but each week he's getting over 100 yards. He's getting more comfortable. He's getting more patient. You see his vision coming. So if Jackson can get the run game going early, it can be a close game. If they don't, it's going to be a long night for Jackson.
I think it's gonna be a fun game. Gonna be a fun game. And remember last year, Jackson got the dogs last year. I think it was the first time in geez, I don't know how long. So
17,
was it? Yeah,
17 games.
yeah.
17, yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun on Friday night. Lake and Hoover is a humongous game.
Yep.
And Lake was in that shootout 2 weeks ago. They lost a tough game to the Pups last weekend, and now here comes Hoover after a win against Perry. They're going to be looking ahead to their rival Jackson. Man, there's a
Hmm.
lot on the line here, isn't there?
There is, and what surprised me and impressed me with Lake is the play of their skill positions. They've always had the big offensive line. They've always had the bruising running backs that'll get you, 3 yards in the cloud of dust. But this year they have the guys on the edge like Novak and Fuller, and these guys got some wiggle to them. I mean, they can make some plays in the open field, and so Lake surprises me offensively. Defense is sound and very good. But for Hoover, to me, it's going to be how healthy are you? I mean, knowing that Collins and Andes are both the X factors, they're both kind of banged up. If they're not healthy and ready to go, I think Lake can get this one.
Uh, Antonio Hall is our guest, Q92 Sports. We're talking ball with Hall. We do it every Wednesday at 5:35 here on 1310 WDPN, and of course the Sam Bourquin Show all over our social media platforms. Got to ask you, and I always feel I feel really bad for the head coach of McKinley and the head coach of Maslin this time of the year, week 9, because
Hmm.
you know what's coming around the corner. I mean, you know what's coming around the corner. The players more than ever know what's coming around the corner.
Hmm.
How in the world, Antonio? What's the secret sauce? How do you keep teenagers from looking ahead to the biggest game in the United States of America, which is only a week away? How do you do it?
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, a couple years for me, we got that trap game. We overlooked week 9, and we paid for it. And so it's so tremendously hard, not just from a football standpoint, but from a community standpoint, right? Because I remember the one year we're we're going out to play, and they already started to decorate the hallways and stuff for the Maslin week, and I'm just like, man, I wanted to spontaneously combust, like I was so mad, right? Because it's
Right.
like my players are seeing this. We're about to go play week 9 right now, but they see all this stuff going up for Maslin, so it's extremely hard. You just have to try to put that bubble around them, focus on the main thing, realize that how well you're going to play week 10 predicates on how much improvement you're going to make in week 9, and
Mm-hmm.
really find things to focus on for your team. Like, if your offensive line struggles with the zone blitz, okay, this week we got to focus on the zone blitz. If your wide receivers are struggling with stock blocks, okay, this week we got to but you have to make it so much about yourself and what you're trying to accomplish, and not so much about the team you're about to play.
What's the old saying? You got to make the main thing the main
The
thing.
main thing. Yep. Yep.
And it's so hard. I remember growing up, when my dad would take me around to the McKinley games. We lived at Fawcett. He was a graduate there, and we would go check out the Tigers every once in a while. And I remember there was a period of time in Maslin on week 9, they would schedule St. Vincent St. Mary. And
Right.
they were rolling then, Antonio. And St. V come down and got him a couple
Right.
times on
Right.
week 9. Why in the world? But I mean, I guess that you schedule how you have to schedule. I mean, me, I'd be scheduling Cream Puff City, man, week 9 if I could. But
Right.
sometimes you just can't, and it's tough on everybody, isn't it?
It is. It really is, especially for, I won't say especially for McKinley, but particularly when you're in a league,
Your league, right?
because, right, because you have to play those league games. And like, for instance, one year, I mean, we were going to play Maslin week 9 at Maslin, and they were undefeated. And, we had to play them before we played Maslin. The one time Glen Oak is struggling, you only had 3 wins.
Hmm.
And then we're overlooking them and then we stumble because, we overlook Glen Oak. And so you really just got to take it as it comes. But if you're in the league, especially so, because your schedule for most part isn't in your hands.
Right. Yeah. When you're in a league, I mean, you gotta play who you're told to play, and
Right.
that's just kind of that's the situation. Hey, before we move on to a couple things with the Browns and talk about the Dominique with the Bears and Harold, I'm sure you've been looking at the high school football, the playoff picture, whether it's been the OHSA website or Joe Idol or whatever. Man, now that this has shrunk down to 12, it it appears to me that we're not going to have as many teams in from Stark County as we've had in the past.
Exactly.
And it's like,
Exactly. I
whoa.
mean, it's a culture, or it's a reality check is what it is, because for about 4 years now we've been so accustomed to everybody gets in except maybe one or two. Now you really have to fight your way and make it through the regular season to get an opportunity. I mean, it's only 4 spots, but that makes a big difference when you're talking
Hmm.
about placement for playoffs.
It does. I mean, I've been looking up and down at Division One all the way through 7, and I see some teams that are uh, probably locks like McKinley,
Hmm.
like Jackson.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure Lake and Hoover are going to get in. I think Massillon's going to get in. Louisville, but they got work to do. Perry's on the edge.
Hmm.
Alliance could completely be out of a bye and maybe not even be able to host. West Branch looks to be in. Northwest looks to be. I mean, there's a lot to play here for the last couple of weeks, and I guess what does that say about where we are in Stark County football right now, Antonio? That now that they've clipped 4 possible spots away from each division in the region, and we're not getting there. What should is that cause for worry, or is it's just the way it is?
Well, I think you have to look at it a couple different ways. One, you have to look at it that there's so much parity in Stark County. Um, I mean, there's really not a lot of teams who can just say you're head and shoulders above another program. I mean, even if you look at, I'll use McKinley for an example. I mean, they're 7-1, but most of those wins are within 4 points of
Right,
somebody.
right.
So it's just like, okay, and I just say that to say this, that like I think for the next 3 to 4 years, there's a lot of teams in Stark County that can make the playoffs, but there's also a lot of teams, those same teams cannot make it if they don't handle business,
Yep.
because North Canton's getting better, Jackson's getting better, Lake's always getting better. So you just see the progression in all these programs, and now you have to fight it out to get those 12 spots in the playoffs. And we already knew that Stark County was a hotbed for talent, a hotbed for great football. Now it's a dogfight like it was back when I was playing, because you only got 8 teams in, right?
Right,
And so you
right.
can go 8-2, 9-1, and still miss the playoffs. And so like that's becoming a reality again to people. And so you're really gonna have to play ball.
Yeah, and I like it to where I mean you got to earn your way in, and now the regular season it's become amped up a little bit more now because the importance on the regular season I think has gone up a couple notches, and me personally I really like that. I think that's good
Yeah.
for everybody. Okay, let's what do we got here? We got about 2 minutes. All right, Dom with the Bears playing ball. Chicago got a nice win, the field goal to win it the other night in our nation's capital. Speak on Dominique Robinson and what he's been doing.
To have the production he's had as a rotational guy, not a starter, but a guy who gets in a rotation. I mean, to have 1.5 sacks, 6 solo tackles through 5 games, and not to mention all the contributions he's making on special teams. I really think he's setting himself up for a great contract year. Just stay
Mhm.
healthy and keep doing what you're doing. But I mean, he looks great out there when he's on the field. And now that the Chicago had a defensive end go down, I anticipate to see more and more of him because of his production. And the biggest production he got this week was that they found out that him and his wife are having another baby boy in the spring. So there's going to
Oh,
be
wow.
number two. Yeah, they just had their first baby not even a year ago, Dom Jr., and now they're having their second one. So Dom's making little defensive ends already.
All right. Hey, stay healthy and get that bag, right?
That's right. That's
Stay
right.
healthy. Stay healthy. Get that bag. All right. Real quick. Harold Fannin Jr. Poor kid. He had a couple drops the other day. The Browns quarterback carousel is in full swing now. They may beat the Dolphins this Sunday. Who knows? How's Harold holding up? I know you talked to him.
He's good. I mean, and those drops, I mean, that's part of a rookie season. That's part of your progression as an NFL player. I mean, there's way more guys on that roster that has way more drops than Harold. But the fact that he's leading them in receptions with 28, he's 28 for 38 when it comes to targets, averaging over 9 yards a reception, to be not even halfway through your rookie season and you're already your team's leading receiver. I mean, that says a lot about you, especially given the quarterback situation, the offensive line situation, so that you can be a consistent positive for your team, for your offense. I mean, that's just kudos to Harold.
Yeah, he'll get there. It's all part of the growing pains, and all the good ones and possible great ones. They all go through it. He'll be all right. He's got it under control. All right, big fella. I appreciate the visit. Always love talking ball with you every Wednesday at 5:35. It's going to be a great run to the finish. Week 9 and week 10. We'll have lots to talk about and dissect and get into, and I'm looking forward to it. Have a great rest of your day and have a great rest of your week.
You too, brother.
There he goes. My man, Antonio Hall.